So this is Dano's warehouse, 15,000 square foot now. Just 4 months ago, 2 months ago, it was only 4,000 square foot. A year ago, didn't have a warehouse. Everything was done through a co-packer. But Coach Glass asked me to make this video for you guys, telling you a little bit about entrepreneurship. So I'm gonna sit down here, I'm gonna set this up, and we're gonna talk about some entrepreneurship. Everything has to start. Everything has to start with a vision. You have to have a vision. So I have a mission. The vision statement is always the first thing. What is your vision? What are you trying to do? Mine is Dano Seasoning, but let's start out who Dano is. I'm Dan Oliver, born and raised Louisville, Kentucky. Went to Trinity High School. Graduated 244 out of 246, which is the bottom, not the top. I was never a school person, but I was always an idea person. I was always the kid that was thinking big ideas. How can I change the world? Like something I was going to do really big in my life. I was always thinking that way. So I did go to college. Not straight out of high school. I went to college and I really applied myself because I knew I wanted to do something big in life. So I applied myself, make the dean's list. I was there for 2 years. Things did not work out at school because I didn't want to go for 5 or 6 years, whatever track I was on. I wanted to come back and start making money. So I got into the insurance business. After 2 years of that, I realized I did not like it. So I got a job in manufacturing where I was a sales rep for electronic engineers. So I traveled a 100-mile radius around Louisville, helping manufacturers like myself repair electronic equipment. And so that burnt out after 5 years, and I went to bartending. Did that for 5 years. In my last 2 years of bartending, I absolutely was just like, how can I get out of here? How can I change my life? And I'm thinking of all these ideas. I actually spent over $1,000 on a research data analysis on a disposable toothbrush idea. But yeah, so anyways, everything has to start with a vision. So in 2015, as I was a bartender, I used to bring in this chicken that I've been making for 15 years. It's basically me just whipping up my herbs and spices at home. So I brought in this chicken, gave it to the guy sitting across the bar. He took one bite of it and he said, "Man, this is the best chicken I ever had in my life. Why aren't you selling it?" And I said, "I'll call it Dano's." Exactly like that. I was like, "I'll call it Dano's." At that moment, that was my aha moment. Not everybody gets to have that. And I knew exactly what I was going to do with my life. And I literally went home that night at 5 o'clock in the morning when I got off my bartending shift, and I was looking up, how do you start a seasoning company? Well, you'll find out there's not a lot of people out there to help you do that. I had to figure it out on my own. I literally started my business April 15th, 2015, and I didn't have a single product to sell until August 2016. So even in 2015, I had 0 sales, but I still had to pay taxes, and I did not know that. I did not know anything about running a business. All I knew is I had $8,000 and I had a vision. And my vision was to create this seasoning product. And what happened when I started doing the research and development and figuring out how to make labels, and I need to find a graphic designer to help me with the design. I need to come up with some creative stuff to put on the label, like what's it gonna say? Where's my little dude? The little dude just came to me in a dream. I grew up fishing every day of my life, so it was like little dude fishing, like that's me as a kid. It's little Danny. So I had the vision of this Dano's, and it was through this product development when I realized that it was low sodium. And I was like, why is there no other products out there on the market that's low sodium? So I was like, that's my niche. I'm totally different than any other product out there. Now, I will tell you this, and I have the original and I have the spicy version of it. I will tell you this. You have to have a product that people are going to want to be successful. But also the most important part of being successful is you have to make a profit. You have to understand the difference between a hobby in a business. A business, you have to make a profit to have a real business. A hobby, if you can't make money, you have a hobby. So with Dano's, one of the first things that somebody came into my life, once you start on your track of becoming an entrepreneur and you start to figure things out and you're like, I'm going to do this for my business and I'm going to start this business. Once you have this vision and you set your mind to it and you don't stop, there's going to be people that will come into your life that will help you along the way. I promise you. It has happened to me the entire time. And now that I have almost 40 employees, the most important thing is hire people and put people around you, people that believe in what you believe. People that believe in what you believe. I believe I make the best seasoning on the market. I believe I'm changing the world. It's part of my mission statement. I surround myself with people that believe what I believe. So let's get back to how it started. I started with $8,000. It wasn't until June 1st, 2017, I started the business in April 2015. I had a package out after about a year and a half, and then I realized it wasn't ready for the market. I had to pump the brakes on it. I had it in just a couple grocery stores like Paul's Fruit Market, and I pumped the brakes on it so I could redo the design, take the sugar out of the recipe, and get it ready for what I knew would be successful. So it was all of these jobs that I had growing up, everything that I had done in my life had put me in position to do this, because I've always been very attention to detail, very detail oriented on things, and everything that I had done, from my insurance sales to my manufacturing experiences to my bartending to what I had learned on going through all the rigmarole, the FDA compliance, the health restrictions to be able to package a food product and sell it. Everything just kind of came together. In 2017, I went to my first trade show, telling myself I was going to make $1,000. I made $3,000 in sales, not made, and then I did the state fair, and then I was like, okay, I can travel the country. So I did that for 3 years, traveling the country, no wife, no kids. I stayed that way, no girlfriend. It was me and my business, and I was going to make this succeed. Like I said, I started with $8,000. Very important to have good credit. You want to have good credit. You know why? Because when I started my business, they gave me another $12,000 in credit line. So you want to have good credit. When you're young and you open your first credit card and you get your first bills, you always make sure you pay that bill. Never late. Have great credit. That's going to help you in being an entrepreneur if you want to be an entrepreneur. So let's talk about a couple things here. Coach Glass wanted me to touch on copyright, trademark, patent. Copyright's more for words that are in songs and whatnot, is where a trademark is exactly what I have on Dano's. It's branding the name of a product. In a patent, you would think that I would patent the recipe, but no, you actually wouldn't. Maybe a company like Coca-Cola, because they're so big, but I would not waste the money on patenting the recipe, because literally somebody could change one little ingredient and then it's different and they can call it something different. So what I did is trademark the name. So somebody can knock this off, make a product that tastes just like Dano's, just like it, but guess what they can't do? They can't call it Dano's, and that's why you trademark it. We trademark other sayings like this: you don't know till you Dano, Dan good, Dano Mike. We trademark this, trigger finger. We do something with our big bottle, we go pop pop and we pop the big bottle. If you haven't followed me on TikTok yet, or YouTube, or Facebook, follow me. My handle is it's not TikTok. My handle is Dano's Seasoning, just like on the shirt, DANOSSEASONING. Go follow me on TikTok. You'll see my videos. I even share some of the stuff I do in my entrepreneurial, building the business life. It's not always just the food product. But yes, so like I said, started with $8,000, and I'll tell you this, one of the first things that ever happened to me is I ran into a guy in Paul's Fruit Market. Like I said, Everything, when you want to start your business, everything might seem overwhelming, but if you have the vision, don't stop. Chase the dream. People will come in to your life. You have to visualize yourself being successful, and things will happen. I promise you. So this guy found me in Paul's Fruit Market when I had my first original packaging, and he could tell. He asked me what my profit margin was, and I said something like 400%. He knew right away I needed help. He came to my next little place where I was doing a demo, and he gave me a sheet because he was a business grad, and you know, he worked for Dean Foods. He was high up, and he just knew that I had a good product and that I needed help, and he totally flipped my world upside down. I knew that I could make money on Danos. Like I said, if you can't make a profit, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. But he showed me what the difference of a profit margin and a markup was. That's the most important thing. I want any one of you that ever thinks you want to be an entrepreneur, you guys need to learn this today, because it's kind of hard to wrap your head around in the beginning. It was for me. Understand the difference between a markup and a margin. There's a markup and a margin. Big difference. For instance, if it cost me $1 to make this bottle, which would be cost of goods. Cost of goods is everything that goes into this bottle, from the label to the raw materials to the cap to the packaging up to putting it in the box to putting the labels on the box. That's all a cost of goods. What does it take to get to your final product? It's all in cost of goods. So if my cost of goods was $1 on this bottle and I sell it for $2, what's my profit margin? A lot of you right now are probably thinking, what's my profit margin percent? Okay, a lot of you right now are probably thinking 100%. Well, my friends, that would be a markup. Understand, a margin is if I'm selling this for $2, but 50% is in the cost, my profit margin is 50%. So the margin of this being sold for $2 but $1 in it, the margin is 50%, but the markup would be 100%. See, distributors will work off of a markup. There's some businesses that do run old school and they run off of a markup, as to where if you want to run a successful manufacturing business, or if you want to package your own lemonade, if you want to sell air fresheners, if you want to come out with your own apparel line and sell hats, you have to understand what is your cost and what is your profit. And you have to also know what your expenses are too, because that will come in later. You got cost of goods, and you got revenue, which is the product, the money you bring in, and then you got your cost of goods, so you subtract that, and then you get your number, and then you subtract expenses. Your expenses are your labor. Do you have employees? You know, how much does it cost for your forklift? All these variable expenses, and then you get down to your net profit. So at the end of the day, you have to make that net profit, and you need to have yourself being paid before you get to the net profit. You need to have your money for you to take care of yourself before you ever get to a net profit. If you're making zero net profit, that's not bad, as long as you're paying yourself. If you're not paying yourself, then like I said, you have a hobby, not a business. So there's a lot that goes into it. Let me think here. What does it take? I got a note here. What does it take? It takes determination. It takes the vision. Like I said, everything starts with the vision, and then you'll figure out your mission. I did. I had the vision, and I never stopped, because I wanted to change my life. I wanted to do something big. I had always told myself I was going to do something big to change the world, and now I'm doing it. So it's very cool. It's very humbling. And like I said, when you get to the point that you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to start your own business, like I said, I don't care if you're selling popsicles or hats, make sure that you can make a profit. The most important thing is to understand business, understand your profit margins, and be passionate about what you're doing. Take care of the people around you. You know, like I said, find out what your why is, why you're doing it. If you do it for the money, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. Let me tell you guys, I'm gonna give you a little project. Next time you go to a flea market or a farmer's market or a fair and you see somebody selling a product, whether it's a jam, a jelly, or whatever, ask them why they're doing it. If they tell you because of the money, I promise you they are not going to be successful. If you want to be an entrepreneur, do not do it because of the money. The money is a result of success. Success is a result of having the vision, having a mission, and chasing your dreams. I think that's a pretty good way to end this. So, I hope I did. If I didn't, be sure to ask questions. I want some questions. I want some feedback. Anybody that's got questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. But yeah, if you got any questions, let Coach Glass know, and I'll be more than happy to help. So, hey, go out and get you some Danos. It's Dan good. It's Dano-Mite. Might be the best Dan seasoning you ever had, and it's low sodium. It's all natural. There's no sugars. It's seasoning the way it should be made. It's the best seasoning product on the market. You don't have to take my word for it. Go and get you a bottle. Ask Coach Glass. He knows. Like we say, you don't know till you Dano. So, I guess that wraps it up. You guys, stay in school. Learn the important things. Business, entrepreneurship. Learn margins, markups, expenses. Learn how to run a profit and loss statement. Accounting, very important. It's where it all starts. Know your accounting. And if you don't, figure it out. Hope it helps. Later, guys.